Let's start with the brutal reality that most VT holders know all too well. Back in December 2024, Vechain touched $0.075, and holders were feeling like geniuses. Then came the sector-wide massacre that dragged VT down with everything else, creating what I call the Great Disconnect. Since then, VAT has been trapped in this 2 cents to 3 cents range, and here's what's fascinating. While the price has been moving sideways, the fundamentals have been moving in one direction: up. This creates what Poppe calls the perfect storm for explosive price action. See, markets don't always reflect reality immediately. Sometimes the most profitable opportunities come from this exact scenario, when development accelerates while price stagnates. Smart money recognizes this pattern, which is why we're seeing accumulation at these levels. Poppe specifically mentioned that VET has a great chance of going upwards, and when an analyst of his caliber makes statements like that, you don't ignore it. He's pointing to the confluence of technical strength meeting continued project development, a combination that historically produces the most explosive moves in crypto. Now let's talk about what's actually happening behind the scenes, because this is where the story gets absolutely incredible. Vechain just launched Stargate Staking, and the numbers will blow your mind. Early participants can earn up to 9% APY just for staking their tokens. But here's where the math gets insane. If you're staking at current prices around $0.025 and VT hits the projected target of 10 cents, your effective APY rockets to 36%. That's not just staking rewards, that's wealth multiplication. Think about it this way, you're getting paid 9% annually to hold an asset that analysts believe could 4x from current levels. That's the kind of asymmetric opportunity that creates generational wealth. But the staking launch is just the appetizer. Vechain partnered with Dana White, yes, the UFC president, to expand their brand reach. When you've got someone with Dana White's marketing genius backing your project, you know serious expansion is coming. Then there's the MiCAR license approval, and most people have no idea how massive this is. MiCAR compliance means Vechain can seamlessly integrate Web 2 businesses into their ecosystem. We're talking about real-world adoption on a scale that most blockchain projects can only dream about. And here's the kicker that nobody's talking about. Vechain implemented tokenomics reforms specifically designed to reduce supply inflation. Historically, lower inflation equals price appreciation. It's basic economics, but in crypto, these fundamental shifts often take months to reflect in price action. If you're starting to see why this setup is so compelling, I need you to absolutely destroy that like button right now. This level of fundamental analysis combined with technical precision is exactly what separates profitable crypto investors from the crowd. And if you're not subscribed to TJ Crypto World yet, you're missing out on the most detailed altcoin analysis on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button and notification bell, because what I'm about to show you next will completely change how you look at VT's chart structure. Alright, let's dive into the technical analysis that has Poppe and other top analysts pointing to VET as a breakout candidate. The chart structure is absolutely textbook, and if you understand what you're looking at, the signals are screaming. First, let's talk about the 200-day EMA. This is the most important technical level you need to understand. VT has been dancing around this level, and Poppe highlighted that a decisive break above it could confirm the end of the downtrend and signal the beginning of a major upward move. The 200-day EMA acts like a gravitational field in technical analysis. When price is below it, selling pressure dominates. When price reclaims it with volume, buying pressure typically accelerates. VET is right at this critical inflection point. Now here's where it gets really interesting. The pattern VT is forming looks remarkably similar to what we saw in late 2023 and early 2024. We've got these lower highs where profit takers exit, but each time price tests support around 2 cents, it holds firm and bounces higher. This creates what technicians call an ascending triangle pattern, and historically these patterns resolve with explosive moves to the upside. The key is that support keeps getting tested but never breaks, while resistance gradually gets weaker with each test. Poppe's projection targets the 1.618 Fibonacci extension level at 12 cents. From current prices around $0.024, that represents a potential 400% gain. But here's what most people miss. Fibonacci extensions aren't just random numbers. They're mathematically derived levels, where institutional algorithms often place their targets. The path to 12 cents won't be straight up, obviously. We've got intermediate resistance levels that will create temporary profit-taking opportunities. But the key insight is that demand keeps returning at lower levels, creating this stepladder effect higher. What's particularly bullish is the volume profile. Each bounce from support has been accompanied by increasing volume, suggesting that smart money is accumulating while retail investors are distracted by other narratives. Let's zoom out and look at why VT's setup fits perfectly into the broader altcoin season narrative that's developing. Bitcoin's dominance is starting to roll over, and historically, that's when altcoins with strong fundamentals and technical setups absolutely explode. Vechain occupies this unique position in the supply chain and enterprise blockchain space. While other projects are still trying to find product-market fit, VT has real-world adoption, regulatory compliance, and now institutional-grade staking rewards. The timing couldn't be more perfect. We're entering a phase where institutional money is looking for the next wave of blockchain adoption beyond just Bitcoin and Ethereum. Vechain's enterprise focus, combined with their regulatory compliance through MiCAR, positions them perfectly for institutional capital allocation. And here's something most analysts aren't talking about. The partnership with Dana White isn't just about marketing. Dana White represents mainstream adoption, celebrity endorsement, and most importantly, access to capital networks that most crypto projects never see. When you combine strong fundamentals, improving technicals, regulatory clarity, staking rewards, and celebrity partnerships, you get what I call the perfect storm setup. These are the conditions that create the most explosive moves in crypto. The risk-reward ratio here is absolutely compelling. Your downside is limited by strong support around 2 cents, but your upside potential extends to 12 cents based on Fibonacci projections. That's a 6-1 risk-reward ratio, which is exactly what professional traders look for. If this analysis is opening your eyes to VT's potential, I need you to show some love right now. Smash that like button if you found value in this breakdown, and make sure you're subscribed with notifications on, because I'll be tracking VT's progress and updating you on every major development. This is the kind of opportunity that could define portfolios for the next cycle, and you don't want to miss any updates. So what are the key catalysts and timeframes you need to monitor? First and most important, watch for VT to decisively break and hold above that 200-day EMA. That's your confirmation signal that the technical setup is playing out. Second, monitor the staking participation rates. If we see massive inflows into Stargate Staking, that removes supply from circulation and creates additional upward pressure on price. It's basic supply and demand economics. Third, keep an eye on partnership announcements. The Dana White collaboration could be just the beginning. If Vechain starts announcing additional mainstream partnerships, that could accelerate the timeline for breakout moves. And finally, watch Bitcoin's dominance. When BTC dominance starts falling consistently, that's typically when quality altcoins like VT see their strongest moves. We might be approaching that inflection point right now. The beautiful thing about this setup is that you have multiple ways to win. Even if the technical breakout takes longer to materialize, you're earning 9% APY through staking while you wait. That's what I call asymmetric risk reward. That wraps up my deep dive into Vechain's compelling setup that has top analysts like Michaël van de Poppe taking notice. The combination of improving fundamentals, technical breakout potential, and institutional-grade staking rewards creates one of the most interesting opportunities in the current altcoin landscape. I genuinely appreciate you spending your valuable time with me today. Your engagement through likes, comments, and shares is what allows me to continue providing this level of detailed analysis. If you found this breakdown valuable, I've got an entire playlist of altcoin opportunity analysis that could help you identify the next big winners before they move. The link to that playlist is right here on your screen. And trust me, after watching those videos, you'll have a completely different perspective on how to identify undervalued altcoin opportunities. I cover everything from technical analysis to fundamental evaluation, giving you the tools to make informed investment decisions. Until next time, this is TJ from TJ Crypto World, reminding you that the biggest opportunities often hide in plain sight while everyone else is chasing the obvious plays. Keep stacking, keep learning, and I'll see you in the next one.